Yes, sir. We'll call the meeting to order of the Vergne Planning Commission, May the 26th, 2015. We do have a quorum present, so we'll ask the members to look over the minutes from the April 28th meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to accept as submitted.
Have a motion to accept as submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. The minutes are approved. New business. Number 1, preliminary plat, Center Point Lot 13, requested by Andrew Steele, Little John Engineering, 108.2 acres, property located between Center Point Way and Center Point Drive, tax map 017, parcel 37.04, I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by Panatone Development Company. Ms. Costanza.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have a new layout here on the screen. You can see, and this is the revised compared to what we looked at the workshop. Sorry, having some issues with my remote. We had some technical items. We didn't have many. We had 5, just mostly minor and pertaining to the sewer line layout. They did adjust everything and provided the corrections we asked for, in addition to amending some notes. However, at the very last minute, in discussions with their financial institution, they were asked to subdivide the property for the purpose of collateral. So they did add a subdivision lot line, which you can see on the screen. They did drop off revised plan sets this afternoon. However, there was apparently a printing error because what I received, which is what is in your packet, was roughly the same as what we had previously. So I don't have a paper copy for you to reference. I do, however, have the final plat, which they submitted today for the June agenda. So it should be exactly what we're looking at. Don't have anything further really to discuss.
Let me ask the council right here then.
Yes.
Can we even vote on this since this doesn't show the property being divided? Because what we're voting on is not what they're asking. Is that correct?
Kristen, I guess related me again, right now, what was the workshop was a preliminary plat approval, was it not?
Yes, it was. And so this is still a preliminary plat approval, but with a lot line going through it. It was a preliminary plat in the first place because they were doing public utility extensions, and that requires preliminary plat. We did discuss in the past at the workshop whether it was to be subdivided, and at the time there was no indication as such, but late last week they indicated that they were told that they needed to do so. That's what the bank wanted. So
Does staff know if there are any differences in its comments or requirements that would result from subdividing the lot?
I mean, I reviewed it, Kyle and I reviewed it based on the digital version, which is what is on the screen, and we expected to receive the new paper copies today. We didn't have any issues. It was literally adding a lot line. That was all that was, and we will be looking at final plat next month or in the near future, depending on the status of the preliminary plat. But they did, and I can pass these out for you to look at since it is the final version of what you're supposed to be looking at right now.
I mean, what you're showing us is...
That's the correct version,
That's
yes.
correct. Only thing this right here doesn't have
Is that line right in the middle, exactly.
That's what I want to know if it's...
Well, I without looking at our zoning ordinance, wording or regs to see if that's going to alter the requirements, I can go back and do that, but I know that past precedent, correct me if I'm wrong, has been that if what is presented to the board is different than what's at the workshop, number one, it's generally going to be that way if they've made the correction. It's going to be different with the corrections.
Right.
Number two, if it is different, the past precedent has been either to defer it or come back and see. But this seems like a different circumstance if the board desires to take a vote on it based on what is being presented with here, even though it's a little different than the workshop. And it seems that there's no other requirements. In fact, it's been subdivided. I guess the board, in its discretion, could go ahead and vote on it.
Okay. So really, y'all have no other comments?
No, they had addressed
No comment.
everything that we
Everything,
had,
okay.
that we had asked for,
Well,
so.
Well, I'd like to hear some discussion from the board members, what your thinking is.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I would just want to ensure that we have the correct date on the one that's been submitted
Okay.
in part of the motion, whether it's for or against, so we're clearly identifying which one we're voting on.
That's what I'm.
And as far as the difference of the subdivision, that doesn't, on the preliminary plat, doesn't concern me.
Okay, okay.
Just so you can see the subdivision line.
So basically, all it is we just didn't get a copy of that.
Exactly, that's correct.
So
And,
Mr. Chairman, I think, I'm in agreement with Graham. I think we should go ahead and just roll it because we just didn't get a copy.
Well, if we say we're gonna approve as submitted,
We have to,
We're gonna
then
modify.
we'll have to modify that
Yes.
statement, I would say.
Yes.
Do you have anything?
I always like to have the paperwork the way it's supposed to be.
Well,
It makes it a lot cleaner.
yeah, that's why I asked council what we need to do about this, yeah. Okay.
so Kristen, what's the date of the preliminary plat that's in front of us on the screen? What's the date of that?
it's today's May 26th.
Okay, is that a preliminary plat or is that a final plat?
No, that's the preliminary plat.
Okay, that's a preliminary plat, okay. Okay,
I mean, we could do it subject to them dropping them off tomorrow, the paper copies, or however you feel.
Because this is part of the minutes,
okay.
I feel comfortable enough to say, I'll make a motion to accept the preliminary plat dated today, the 26th, and that becomes part of the record. That'd be my motion.
Is this dated somewhere? But this is a.
That's the final plat.
This is his final plat.
5/26.
Yep, but this is his final plat, we're not voting on this one.
We vote on it.
Yeah. We're voting on that one up there, even though it looks just exactly like this one up
Okay.
there. Okay, I have a motion to approve the preliminary plat dated May 26th, that we have in digital form before us. We don't have a paper copy, but we do have it in digital form. Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, I have a second. All in, should we take a roll call, or should we just go? Okay, let's take a roll call on it, okay?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Aye, all ayes, okay. I'm sorry to confuse anyone, but I just want to make sure
No,
we're
that's
clear.
good.
We're
That's
clear
good.
on it,
That's
okay?
good.
That's the main thing, okay. All right.
Kristen,
Yeah, she may want that
Yeah, I'm
one
gonna
back.
bring it
She may want that one back. Yeah, you might want to keep those separate.
no, that's the old one. That's
yes.
Item number 2, preliminary plat phase 7 of Lakewood subdivision requested by Danny Womble, 8.38 acres, property located at Stones River Road and Hollandale Road. Tax map 06, parcels 16.00 and 23.01. R2, medium density residential zoning district, property owned by Amnon Stradlin. Ms. Costanza.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the screen, you can see the great difference between what we looked at in the workshop right there compared to the new layout that we received after commentary. We did have 12 or so technical items previously. Some were minor, some pertaining to easements and ownership, as well as concerns of safety, and the lack of frontage for 2 lots. Staff met with Mr. Womble shortly after the workshop, and we went through the new design, which you can see. There are now, instead of 19 single-family lots, there are 24. The way the cul-de-sac is laid out, and we now have Muth Cove, which will be serving the 12 lots along the cul-de-sac. There will be no lots utilizing access easements. There will be no lots accessing Stones River Road. The applicant, because we have some additional lots now, he did revise his application. He did pay the fee for the additional lots. We still have the 30-foot proposed right-of-way dedication along Hollandale and Stones River. And all the other comments that we had pertaining to drainage, to easements, have all been satisfied, and we have no technical items to address at this time.
Any discussion from the members?
I'd just like to appreciate Mr. Womble working with us on this, and I think they've covered everything that we discussed. I think the layout works well for them as well. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept the preliminary plat.
May I ask one question before you do that? Do y'all think lot 710, we might ask Mr. Womble this, if you don't mind coming up just a minute. I just got one question for you on this one. On lot 710, if you can look at that one. I mean, are you satisfied that that lot is big enough without needing any kind of BOZA later on?
Yes,
Yep,
I am.
yep,
We
okay.
looked at that lot
Okay.
pretty closely, as well as 709 and 708.
Okay.
Typically, a ranch-style house is about 25 foot deep and about 50 foot wide. The depth of that building envelope is a little over 35 foot deep, nearly 40 foot deep. So it will accommodate that type of house. Most builders have that type of house plan in their inventory of houses. Today, oftentimes you'll see builders building houses that are more square. A square house won't fit on that lot, but there are plenty of other house plans that will. And there's been a lot of house plans built in Lake Forest Estates that would fit on that lot. We looked at that.
Okay, I thought your layout was really good on this right here.
Thank you.
Like Mr. Coates, I thought it was really good. Thank you. Is there any other questions for Mr. Womble? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I'll make a motion to accept the preliminary plat, phase 7 of Lake Woods as submitted.
I have a motion to accept the plat as submitted. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Motion and a second. Everyone in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Ayes have it. It is approved. Item number 3, rezoning of property requested by Janet Roberts, 0.3 acres, property located at 1501 Piercy Street, tax map 0140, Group A, parcel 39.00, current zoning R2, medium density residential, proposed zoning I1 light industrial, property owned by Janet Roberts. Ms. Costanza.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We looked at this in detail last, or 2 weeks ago at the workshop. There are no technical items that are associated with this request. As we discussed, the applicant just sees the neighborhood as changing too much for residential. She would like to sell it and thinks it's more viable and economical to sell it as light industrial. The property immediately adjacent to the north is also I-1. The sign now has been up on the property for over a month, and I have not received a single phone call.
Okay.
So, and Ms. Roberts is present if you have any questions for her.
Do any members have any questions for the applicant? Okay, anyone? Okay. Do I have a motion?
I have a motion.
Motion to send a favorable recommendation to the mayor and board of aldermen, correct? And a second?
Second.
Second. I got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Okay. It is approved to send a favorable recommendation. Okay. Number 4, bonds and letters of credit update.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna, on a side note, in your packet, you do have a withdrawal, letter from Blue Beacon indicating that they are withdrawing their pending application, that they thank us for our hard work and effort. They are looking at some other sites in Laverne, and we do hope that, we may hear from them in the near future, so. But they have withdrawn, and we move along to bonds and letters of credit update. Mr. Brown did discuss, let's see, I guess Hampton Roads Phase 3 has a new expiration of May 1, 2016. And we don't have anything coming up for
Quite a while.
several months, so.
Yeah, okay. Very good, very good. Okay. Do we have any members have any other business to come forward with? I will call this meeting adjourned.